And now we're gonna go through vaginal ozone insufflation and how to set that up, how to do it. And you might be thinking, Micah, you're probably not the best person to be doing this because you don't have a vagina. And you would be 100% correct, but I did try to get somebody else to do it. Unfortunately, we hired the videographer and everything, and they didn't actually show us how to use it. So I'm the step-in for how to do this, and I'm sorry about that, but we're gonna go through this together. And I'm not gonna do it, but I'll show you how it's done. All right, so first thing, we have our generator set up, our oxygen tank set up, and then I wanna show you what each of these pieces are. This is the insert. This is the part that actually goes into the vagina. It's pretty small, so this can pretty easily fit in. This is a fluid trap in the case that there is fluid. You know, some people are using a lubricant and that kind of stuff. And then this is a destruct. So what this does is this neutralizes excess ozone because we have this piece here that's going to be going into the vagina, and then there's going to be ozone that's coming back out. But rather than just going back out into the air, it's actually filtering down through this tube, through the fluid trap, and into the destruct so that it neutralizes all the excess ozone so that we don't have to worry about breathing it. So for doing a vaginal insufflation, you can do this in whatever way is most comfortable for you. It really doesn't matter. So first things first, you're going to connect this lure lock onto the ozone generator, and then this piece is going to be inserted in. You can use a lubricant, whatever is most comfortable for you. And then we're going to go ahead and set our regulator on the oxygen tank to get our dosing. So for dosing on vaginal insufflation, since this is not a dosed out like it is in the bag, you're actually going to time it. So you're going to need some sort of timer. It usually calls for anywhere between 5 and 10 minutes, 10 being the max that you ever want to get to. 5 is kind of the baseline of the therapy, but you want to start lower. So you start with like 1 minute, 2 minutes, see how your body responds. Again, going back to that Herxheimer reaction idea, but you just don't want to jump right into the protocol. So start really slow, give it a couple days, and then get into it. The other thing on frequency, this isn't one that you do every day. You do it more like 2 to 3 times a week. If there's something severe, you can do it more. Again, all the protocols are right below, so you don't need to remember all the numbers and all that kind of stuff. You can just refer the numbers that are written down below there. So while this piece is inserted, you're gonna go ahead and turn your ozone generator on. We're gonna be doing anywhere between 10 and 30 gamma. Again, 10 is on the lower side. That's where you're gonna start when you're beginning, and then work your way up to 30 gamma if you have some sort of issue that you're trying to combat. And I also want to address the reason why we're doing a higher dose than you would for rectal insufflation, and the reason is because the epithelium in the vagina is different. So in rectal insufflation, interacts really quickly, has an absorption rate really quickly, and is a quick therapy. Whereas vaginal insufflation, the epithelium, which is the cellular lining of the area, is slower, so it needs more time to absorb. So that's why this is different, and we can't just use the same supplies for both. So between 10 and 30 gamma, I'm gonna go ahead for this one and start off at 19 gamma. So I go over here and set my regulator to setting 4 on here. So of course this is inserted while the gas is flowing, the generator is on. Once you reach your 5-minute limit, and then you can work your way up, again the protocols are below, you just go ahead and set your regulator to 0. And then you pull this out, you can disinfect it, use hydrogen peroxide, use ozone water, whichever you prefer. And then we're done for that. So I'm gonna go ahead and click the off button. You will always disconnect whatever is connected to the ozone generator after each and every therapy. So vaginal ozone insufflation is really useful for any vaginal issues as well as being a systemic treatment. So we get a similar benefit to when we're doing the rectal insufflation or the intravenous ozone, but the other advantage of this is if there's any sort of vaginal issues, any sort of infections, any sort of inflammation, it can help with that as well. So that's why you would want to use it over the rectal insufflation, is if there is an issue there. So that's vaginal ozone insufflation.